afterglow of a new day, the city below shimmered like a constellation of hope. Vincent Sterling, a celebrated CEO, stood by his floor-to-ceiling window on the 48th floor of his luxurious penthouse. His eyes, usually set upon blueprints of success and financial conquests, softened as the morning light illuminated both the grandeur of his world and a small, unexpected detail. Suddenly, a noise, a heart-shattering cry of pure sorrow, cut through the silence of his meticulously ordered realm. It was the cry of a little girl, born not of trivial distress, but of profound grief. In that intimate, fateful moment, Vincent felt something stir within him, something far deeper than the simple calculations of profit margin and market share. How can something so small pull at the heart of a man who had the world at his feet? This was a question he would carry with him for the rest of his life. As he left the comfort of his corner office, Vincent followed the anguished sound down the pristine corridors of his penthouse. Each step took him farther from the predictable rhythms of his corporate life and closer to an uncharted emotional territory. The echo of the crying grew louder, not as a nuisance, but as a beckoning call to witness a different kind of story unfolding behind closed doors. In the living room, softened by natural light and shadows cast by sleek furnishings, he discovered a scene he could never have anticipated. A young girl named Emma sat on the floor, her small frame hunched as she clutched the broken halves of a wooden toy horse. This was no ordinary toy. It was a family heirloom, lovingly hand-carved by her grandfather, a symbol of cherished memories now shattered into oblivion. Emma's wails of heartbreak carved a crack into Vincent's well-guarded emotional reserve. He recalled the treasured mementos of his own past, an old fountain pen once caressed by his father's hands. Although he had built an empire on cold calculations and strategic investments, the broken toy ignited a spark of recognition in him. It wasn't the tangible worth of the wooden horse that moved him, but the memories it carried, the love it embodied. In that moment, success was no longer measured by the weight of his bank balance or the prestige of his corporate empire, but by the fragile, timeless connections between hearts. With deliberate tenderness, Vincent knelt before Emma. Gently he inquired, "What is your name?" as her tear-streaked face looked up in a mixture of fear and sorrow. The simple word Emma hung in the air like a promise. "I'm Vincent," he said softly, recognizing both her pain and the silent bond they now shared. Her small hands clutched the fragmented pieces of that treasured toy, a relic of her grandfather's love. In her innocent voice, she murmured of the magic her grandfather had once woven into the toy, how it made the horse gallop and created sounds that echoed the laughter and love of a bygone era. Through Emma's tears, Vincent understood that the broken toy symbolized much more than just a damaged plaything. It represented a bridge connecting generations, a link between memory and identity. In that instant, the polished world of opulent boardrooms and high-rise meetings gave way to the pure power of empathy. Vincent made a promise that would change his destiny. He vowed to restore the toy, to mend the broken piece of Emma's legacy. His decision was not driven by a fleeting impulse, but by a deep desire to bring healing to a wounded heart. "Would you trust me to fix it?" he asked with genuine hope. There was a hesitation in the silence that followed, but then Emma nodded, her trust and longing for healing sparkling amidst the tears. His heart, long encased in the pragmatism of corporate life, now beat with the rhythm of compassion. Without delay, Vincent reached out to his trusted friend Thomas Kirkland, an expert in the art of restoration. In a busy morning filled with board meetings and strategic negotiations, his thoughts continuously wandered back to the broken toy and the shattered joy that it once carried. Thomas, whose hands were skilled in breathing new life into time-worn treasures, carefully examined the fragmented horse. With the sensitivity of an artisan, he promised to repair the toy in a way that its original beauty would remain hidden beneath the flawless veneer of restoration. "I can make it whole again," Thomas assured, his voice resonant with the conviction that sometimes the most delicate work was about preserving love and memory, not merely mending wood. 2 days later, the transformation was complete. In Thomas's workshop, amidst the rich aroma of wood and polished varnish, the broken horse emerged reborn. The repair was virtually invisible, an alchemy of skill and dedication that restored not only the object but also the heart it held. Vincent felt a surge of hope. That small object, once a symbol of irrevocable loss, was now a beacon of the possibility for healing. With the restored toy carefully cradled in his hands, Vincent returned to the sanctum of his penthouse. The stage was set for the poignant reunion that would forever alter both his life and that of the little girl, Emma. Back in his spacious office, adorned with the gleam of success, Vincent waited patiently for Emma's arrival. When the door opened and the girl timidly stepped inside, her eyes still glistening with tears, Vincent's voice was soft yet resolute. "Emma, I have something for you," he said, his words imbued with the kind of warmth that money and achievement could never buy. Emma approached slowly, drawn by a fragile hope, as if in her hands lay the possibility of rebuilding both a treasured memory and a healing heart. In a small box resting on his desk, Vincent revealed the resplendent, fully restored toy horse, a symbol not only of the restored physical form but also of a rekindled connection between past and present. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Emma's eyes widened with disbelief at the sight of the toy, every detail captured perfectly as if it had never known the pain of being broken. With trembling fingers, she reached out and took the horse into her hands. A cascade of emotions overwhelmed her. Relief, wonder, and the sweetness of memory revived. "It's fixed," she whispered, barely audible over the pounding of her heart. And as she hugged the restored toy close to her, she murmured, "Thank you for fixing what was broken." In that embrace, Vincent experienced a profound transformation. For the first time in years, he recognized that the true worth of his success lay not in the tall buildings he had built, but in the lives he touched with acts of kindness. That evening, after Emma had returned to her mother's side with newfound joy and hope, Vincent lingered alone by his expansive window. The city below, once a cold expanse of business and ambition, now pulsed with the silent stories of its inhabitants, their struggles, their sorrows, and their moments of unspoken triumph. Vincent held his father's prized fountain pen close, realizing that objects, no matter how humble, carry echoes of love that ripple through time. He recalled the words that had quietly resonated within him throughout the day. Sometimes, the small things matter most. In that reflective solitude, he felt the gentle tug of destiny urging him to share this revelation with the world. Over the following weeks, the presence of Emma and Margaret breathed new life into Vincent's once isolated world. Emma began visiting the penthouse more frequently. In the midst of high-pressure meetings and lively boardrooms, moments were carved out for tender interactions. Emma would reenact the memory of her grandfather, her small fingers guiding the restored horse as it paraded across the polished floors. Each step, every sound effect that reignited the past, reminded Vincent that genuine success lies in preserving and cherishing memories. The narrative of that broken toy had evolved from pain to hope, from a symbol of loss to one of the enduring bonds that make life meaningful. As if fate was scripting a masterpiece of redemption, 6 months later, Vincent made a choice that surprised even himself. In a grand gesture that bridged the chasm between the cold metrics of business and the warm pulse of human compassion, he established the Emma Foundation. Named after the little girl who had restored his own battered sense of purpose, the foundation was dedicated to supporting children who had suffered the loss of those they held dear. It provided a sanctuary where memories could be safeguarded and grief gently transformed into strength. At the foundation's launch, Vincent shared his story with donors and press alike, weaving together the tale of a broken toy, a child's sorrow, and the redemptive power of restoring what is precious. "We live in a world that often values things over people," he declared, his voice steady with conviction. "But true success is measured not by profit margins, but by love, connection, and the willingness to mend what has been broken." In the crowd, Emma, now adorned in a joyful pink dress, stepped forward. With a voice both gentle and resolute, she said, "Thank you for helping me. Thank you for fixing what was broken." Her words, simple yet profound, resonated with every beating heart in the room. In that moment, the audience saw that success was more than financial triumph. It was a mosaic of shared human experiences, a tapestry woven with moments of kindness and the courage to change lives. Time passage softened the edges of pain and loss into memories that nurtured future hope. Emma grew into a compassionate young woman who, under the nurturing guidance of the foundation, learned that grief and love walk hand in hand. Vincent, once solely defined by business achievements, found that true fulfillment lay in the connections he formed, in the hearts he mended. And Margaret, too, discovered that kindness not only heals children, but also breathes life into the souls of those who extend it. Standing by his window one serene evening on the Foundation's 10th anniversary, Vincent reflected on the journey that began with a child's cry. The dazzling city lights reminded him of all the lives intertwined with his own, each illuminated by memories, each enriched by moments of shared humanity. His heart swelled with a quiet pride, not for the empire he had built, but for the transformation he had embraced. The story of the broken wooden horse had taught him that even in a world driven by success and profit, it is compassion that truly defines our existence. Let this story remind us all today. Embrace kindness to transform lives.